In our Eye on Earth series, we're taking a look ahead to a landmark United Nations Climate Action Summit scheduled for next week. CBS News is the only broadcast network participating in the Covering Climate Now project in partnership with 250 other news outlets. We are highlighting the health of our planet with our own original reporting. We like to do that. Today, we're taking you deep under the Florida Keys to the only undersea science lab in the world where marine biologists can live for weeks at a time. Mark Phillips strapped on his scuba gear to show us what they're learning.
Good morning from about 4 miles off the Florida Keys. Often the hardest part of a story is getting to it. This one is only 50 feet away. The problem is it's straight down. About 5 miles off Isla Morada in the Florida Keys is an underwater lab called the Aquarius Reef Base. And this is the only way to get to it. The lab sits those 50 feet down on the ocean floor and has only recently come back into service after being knocked out of commission by Hurricane Irma 2 years ago. The storm damaged the surface unit that provides power and pumps air down to the lab at enough pressure to keep that air in and the water out. Inside, you swim into what they call the wet porch, for good reason.
Welcome to Aquarius.
It's got all the comforts of home, if you're a fish.
Not many people get to have an underwater shower. This is our door to the world.
A world where the onboard electronics can interfere with TV pictures. Marine scientist Jim Forquin spends a lot of time down here as part of the Florida International University team that runs the place. Once you're in it, it feels like an underwater RV, with a difference.
A lot of attention is paid to make sure that oxygen concentrations are correct and the CO2 is at the right level and the temperature and the humidity and all this stuff is good.
You can forget you're 50-odd feet below the surface down here.
You really can.
If you don't look out the window. The point of being down here is that actually living on the sea floor means scientists can do more than just the relatively short dives that are possible from the surface. Once acclimatized to the pressure, they can stay out for hours, and down here for days. They almost become, says marine ecologist Mike Heithaus, sea creatures themselves.
You can be the ocean down here. Well, you really can be the ocean, so you get a sense of change that you don't with just instruments in the water or just little tiny dives. So you need these observatories like Aquarius to keep an eye on what the reefs are doing and figure out the solutions.
Here's one of the major problems the Aquarius scientists are working on. Hurricane Irma also did major damage to the seagrass beds that grow just off the coast. Why does that matter? Think greenhouse gases and global warming.
There's as much CO2 stored in seagrass meadows as there is in tropical forests on an acre-by-acre basis.
So an acre of the Amazon rainforest compared to an acre of seagrass,
And they have about the same amount of carbon stored.
which is a good thing.
It is a good thing, and we're losing seagrasses faster than we're losing coral reefs.
Not only that, because turtles eat seagrass and there are fewer sharks around to eat turtles, the grass never gets a chance to grow back.
Turtles are watching what's going on around them, and if their buddy gets eaten, they're not going to do what their buddy was doing.
So just having sharks in the area, is what you're saying, controls the number of turtles that are eating the seagrass.
Absolutely.
It's the kind of observation that takes the time only a place like Aquarius can provide.
More and more, the world's oceans and what they mean for greenhouse gases and so for global warming is becoming a crucial part of climate science. And that study is made a whole lot easier if you can live down here.
Oh,
Wow.
Very nice. I was wondering, are they going to cut to that other shot? Go, Mark Phillips.
Very clever. Can I say it's very clever of Mr. Phillips to use the environmental beat, the London-based Mr. Phillips, to keep getting assignments that involve swimming in Florida.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
It's interesting, though. He never gets tanner. Always the same complexion there, Mr. Phillips.
I like when he said you could forget you're underwater until you look outside.
Yeah, the shark swims by. Yeah.
Shamu going by. Very
Shamu.
nice, Mark and Phillips. Very nice.